And here's the rest of the neighborhoods on this side of the OC. Then after that, we're going into Santa Ana. You know what I mean? And I'll eventually come back and cover the ones that I missed. And, I'm still going to do other cities like Costa Mesa, Orange, and all of that. So we getting there. We're getting there. Cover the rest of this side. Then Santa Ana. Then we're going to get to the rest of them. You know what I mean? So starting off with.
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist.
Low, 6 flow, blue rag lows. Shave head, creased up, sporting flat nose. The OG way, what you know about that West Coast? The OG way, what you know about that West Coast? Low, 6 flow, blue rag lows. Shave head, creased up, sporting flat nose. The OG way, what you know about that West Coast? The OG way, what you know about that West Coast? Gang capital in Cali, we some animals. No remorse and no mercy, just like cannibals. So play your cards right, and that was picture cantaloupe. And we'll hit you anywhere just like catapults. As soon as my label forever, I'll hold down the throne. We were raised, homie, brought up to be real lokes. When we were raised, brought up, homie, to be real lokes. When we were raised, brought up, homie, to be real lokes. Low, 6 flow.
G-File.
And here we have an old school neighborhood. This neighborhood been around since the 50s, 40s, 50s. What I was told. Silver Acres. Now, Silver Acres, like I said, is an old neighborhood right here on this part of town. Now, their neighborhood is where it would be from Westminster to First Street to Harbor Boulevard. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered the Silver Acres neighborhood, which is written SAR. So when you see the SAR, that's who they are. And obviously the R stands for Rifa. You know what I mean? Or sometimes you just see SA and people sometimes think that it stands for Santa Ana, but that's actually the Silver Acres neighborhood. Like I said, they're old school. Now, they're not really large no more how they used to be or as active. You don't really see them up like how you used to see them before. But nonetheless, man, they old school. They're known and, they used to put in work right there. You know what I mean? So, that's who they are right there, still representing, putting it on the map. Like I said, even though they're not as large or as active as they used to be, nonetheless, man, they still right there representing and they still right there doing their thing. Here's another old school neighborhood, is the OCS, which stands for the Organized Crime Suicide or Society. You know what I mean? It was a tagging crew that became a neighborhood. Now, I can't confirm if it became a neighborhood, but that's how they write it, and that's what they say. So that's what's up with the OCS neighborhood right here. So, that's who they are, and, like I said, can't confirm if they were a neighborhood, but that's what they write, So they were always roughly small, roughly new, because it used to be a tank crew. But that's who they are, and that's what's up with them. And here you have the Down Crowd. Now, the Down Crowd is a neighborhood right here in Garden Grove. Now, the Down Crowd, used to be a crew that became a neighborhood. The DC neighborhood right here. You can find their neighborhood right there throughout Banner. Is where their neighborhood is at. You know what I mean? Roughly small. They don't, and they're not that old school, they don't really have that much time, but nonetheless, man, you still see the activities from them, and they still be right there representing it and, putting it down for their neighborhood, you know what I mean? So that's what's up with the Down Crowd. So when you see DC, that's who they are, and, right there representing for their neighborhood. All right, right here, you also have the Orphans Gang. And yes, it's the same Orphans Gang as the ones from Los Angeles. And the ones in IE, it's all the same ones, you know what I mean? Homies, move, they migrate, they recruit, you know what I'm saying? How it works, So they've been in the OC for quite some time already, you know what I mean? Since the 90s. Now, the Orphans neighborhood, you can find them right there. What's on 15th Street and Westminster by the police station. And don't think just because it's close to the police station that shit does not crack. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean anything. As a matter of fact, there's a few neighborhoods that stay really close to a police station and shit be cracking. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. Now, they stay right there throughout those apartment complex units right there. It's where the orphans neighborhood's at. Really close to the west Tiny Locals neighborhood. As a matter of fact, they got pedo, pretty heavy beef right there. You know what I mean? Between the two neighborhoods. Seems like there's definitely bad blood right there. You know what I mean? But the orphans gang, is originated from Los Angeles. But they still got a strong presence right here in the OC. Proud to be from the 714. You know what I mean? So they got riders, and they definitely be putting it on the map. They definitely hold it down right there. So the orphans neighborhood as a whole is a lot older and a lot larger, in general. But they still deep right here in the OC. You know what I mean? Like, they still got their numbers. You know what I mean? There, like I said, there's a few Los Barrios out here that be right here representing also in Orange County, and have equally as many heads as they do in their original areas. But yeah, definitely right here, the orphans neighborhood. They get it cracking, homie. These homies, they be down as fuck and holding it down. You know what I mean? Shout out to my homie Toker from the orphans gang. That's my boy right there. So shout out to Toker. Shout out to all the homies from orphans and that be doing their thing and holding it down for their bloque. You know what I mean? Now here's another pretty old school neighborhood right here. It's the Bastard Family. The Bastard Family, not to be confused with other neighborhoods like Brown Family or none of that. Was a neighborhood that was right here in Garden Grove. Now, but you really don't see them up, no more, or because they were always a small neighborhood as it is. So like, due to gentrification, law enforcement and all that, like, it's rare that you like see them up now. But nonetheless, if you do see the BF or any of that, like, that's who they are right there, the Bastard Family, right there representing. Here you also have the West Gang. The West Gang's also right here, like I said, close to the orphans neighborhood. The only streets apart. You know what I mean? So it's a heavy, bad tension between them. The West neighborhood, definitely right here. Definitely active, be holding it down. They have their heads, you know what I'm saying? Originals to this neighborhood. This is their neighborhood. And yes, West, as in, WEST, West, Tiny Lokes, is the neighborhood right here. West, for West, West Menstrual. Obviously, it's right there. Their neighborhood is what's Beach Boulevard to Garden Grove to Hazard Avenue, to where the San Diego Freeway. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered the West neighborhood. So it's a pretty chunk size and territory, So they do have their numbers, and they have been here for a cool minute already. You know what I mean? So they definitely be holding it down and representing for their neighborhood. You definitely see the activity. It be cracking out here. I mean, you see. You see, the activity, you see that it's active, all the graffiti. You see, gente be walking around, like, this should be popping, you know what I mean? Like I said, like, it be cracking, homie. Like, people shouldn't think just because it's like the OC or Garden Grove right here that ain't nothing happening out here. Nah, shit is happening, homie, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what's up with the West Gang right there representing it and putting it on the map. Here also you have an old school barrio right here. You got Crow Village Locals, not to be confused with Carmelita Barrio Locals or Compton Barrio Locals. You know what I mean? This is Crow Village. Now Crow Village is an old school neighborhood already that's been here for cool minute. You know what I mean? Their neighborhood is what's considered Champman to Santa Rosalia to Beach Boulevard to Stanton, and shit, you could even find them sometimes shit at the Stanton Park. It's what's close to La Barca nightclub is like the area. You know what I mean? So what's in the middle is considered the Crow Village neighborhood. Crow Village, like I said, they old school. They put in work. People definitely know about this barrio. Now, due to gentrification and all that, they're not as deep as they used to be. Or you don't really see the activity as much as you used to, but nonetheless, homie, these vatos still right there, still holding it down, and definitely still putting it on the map right there for their barrio. There's out of this area, this is one of the ones that you definitely hear about. Crow Village definitely got their, their reputation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they right there holding it, and obviously they got their name due to the Crow Village, club, that be right there. You know what I mean? But Crow Village definitely be, you know, putting in work and, you know, putting it on the map right there, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely be cracking right there. So shout out to all the homies from Crow Village. Shout out to Lazy. Gracias, my boy. Shout out to Risky. Beto. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to all the homies from Crow Village, you know what I mean? That be doing their thing right there representing. All right, here you have Midway City. Now, Midway City is a neighborhood also right here. You can find their neighborhood right there on Washington to Madison and Roosevelt. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered the Midway City neighborhood. So that's Midway City. So not to be confused with Mid City or none of that, because you know they see the MC and everything like that. It's a whole different neighborhood. You know what I mean? This is Midway City, not Mid City. So I know sometimes I seen that it be getting confused, but this is his own neighborhood, separate, and has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? But they're a pretty large neighborhood. They've been here already for a cool minute. You can find them right there, holding it down and putting their neighborhood on the map. They definitely, you know, be active. You definitely see the activity by these guys. You know what I mean? And you know, you definitely hear about them. They out here definitely making some noise. You know what I mean? And well, that's what's up with the Midway City neighborhood, and they be right there representing it and holding it down for the neighborhood.